You see, King Daud, which they translate to David, he made a very big mistake in his life. And we are going to learn from his mistake. We are going to learn from Daud's mistake. Yes, YAHUAH forgave him. He forgave him and he set him free. But something spoiled in his house. His own family was destroyed because of his own errors. And we're going to look deep into all the details so that we can learn from this. And what we're going to be learning, we'll put it to work in our life. We will know that if we make mistake, even though YAHUAH forgive us, it can transfer to our children, our grandchildren. So now is the time for we to know the truth that will set us free and set our own generation, our children free also, so that they can live the life of shalom and joy also in their time of life. Toda Rabba YAHUAH Sabaoth, Ba'asham Yahusha Mashiach. So you see, immediately Daud committed the first crime. The first fault of Daud was covetousness. He first of all coveted a married woman. You see, when he coveted the married woman, he now commit adultery with her. And after committing the adultery, he now finalized it by murdering. And that is what brought disaster to Daud's family, a major disaster. And this is what people are not talking about. They don't know. And that's the reason why YAHUAH brought it, so that we can learn from it. Because we learn every day. We learn every day. And what we learn helps us in worshiping YAHUAH in the Ruach and in truth. Yes, Toda Rabba YAHUAH Sabaoth, Ba'asham Yahusha Mashiach. I'm going to start from Dabarim chapter 8 verse 12 to 14. He said, for when you have become full. Yes, I read this scripture last Shabbat also. And this is something that YAHUAH want to constantly use in reminding us. He said, for when you have become full. This is Musha now. Musha, the servant of YAHUAH that they translate to Moses. It is Musha. He's warning them ahead of time that when they get to the promised land, when they become full, when they have gotten wealth, because YAHUAH would barak every one of us with divine wealth, with abundance. But when you have become full and prosperous and have built fine homes to live in, and when you have built fine homes, you've bought cars, big cars, you are now living in abundance. That is what it means here. And verse 13, and when your flock and herds have become very large, and your silver and gold have multiplied along with everything else, be careful. This is it. Be careful. Do not become proud at that time and forget YAHUAH your Yahuwah, who rescued you from slavery in the land of Mizraim. Do not become proud and forget YAHUAH your Yahuwah. Just a moment of fling, Daud forgot YAHUAH's commandments. This is the Daud that YAHUAH guided through all the troubles, through all the temptations that comes his way. He was always with YAHUAH. He did not leave YAHUAH for a minute. He knows the importance of staying close to YAHUAH. Daud knows all this importance. But he was now in his palace. He has defeated almost all the enemies, and he was now living in a very flamboyant life now. He has become full. He has become very full. Now, he forgot YAHUAH's commandments for that moment. And that brought disaster to his own. Let's read on. Toda Rabba YAHUAH Sabaoth. Chapter 11. I'm going to read from verse 1. In the spring of the year, when kings normally go out to war. This is the period that kings normally go out to war. Daud is a very wealthy king at that time, and he have a lot of generals. So he does not need to go to war anymore. He's sending his general to replace him in the war period. Because he was the one that goes to war before, but now he has conquered a lot of enemies. And now, one of his general, YAHUAH, He said, in the spring of the year, when kings normally go out to war, Daud sent YAHUAH, the Yasharalim army, to fight the Ammonites. They destroyed Ammonite army and laid siege to the city of Rabbah. However, this is now, Daud did not go anywhere. He was in his palace. However, Daud stayed behind in Yahushalam, in his capital. He stayed in Yahushalam, where his palace is. Late one afternoon, after his midday rest, Daud got out of bed and was walking on the roof of the palace. As he looked out over the city, he now noticed a woman of unusual beauty taking a bath. Now, that is the first thing, covetousness, that came in. He saw a lady taking a bath. Daud sent someone to find out who she was, and he was told she is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, and the wife of Uriah. Uriah, the one they translate Uriah, is Uriah the Hittite. Then Daud sent messenger to get her, and when she came to the palace, Daud slept with her. Now he has first of all coveted. Now he slept with her. That means commit adultery, the second disobedience to the commandment of YAHUAH. He now slept with her. She had just completed the purification rite after having a menstrual period. Then she returned home. Later, when Bathsheba discovered that she was pregnant, she sent King Daud a message saying, I am pregnant. He now sent a message to King Daud saying that she's pregnant. Verse 6. When Daud sent, it said, then Daud sent word to YAHUAH, his general in the battle, because the husband of Bathsheba, which is Uriah, is in the battle also. So Daud now sent message to bring the husband. He said then Daud sent words to YAHUAH, send me Uriah the Hittite. So YAHUAH sent him to Daud. He now sent Uriah to Daud. When Uriah arrived, Daud asked him, how YAHUAH and the army were getting along. He said how YAHUAH and the army were getting along and how the war was progressing. Then King Daud told Uriah, go on home and relax. The king even sent a gift to Uriah after he had left the palace. Now, you see, he has committed the adultery, and the wife of Uriah is now pregnant, and now he's trying to cover up his evil that he did, because that is evil. For you to go and sleep with somebody's ex-wife is an evil act, and YAHUAH detects every evil, every disobedience act. YAHUAH detects them. He hates all. So right now, what am I going to do as a king to cover this error, this sin that I've committed? I committed this sin privately. Now it's about to blow on my face. That was what is in Daud's mind. This sin is about to push shame in my household. So what am I going to do? Okay, let me send for the husband, the real husband, so that he can go lay with the wife. And even though when the pregnancy come out, they can say, oh, it is the husband that came that period and he got his wife pregnant. So now Daud is calculating, what am I going to do to avoid this shame? But Uriah did not go home. Daud has programmed him to go home, even sent gift to him. But Uriah did not go home. He slept at the palace entrance with the king's palace guard. When Daud heard that Uriah had not gone home, he summoned him and asked, what's the matter? What's happened? Why didn't you go home? Why did you not go home last night after being away for so long? Then Uriah replied, the ark, that is the ark of YAHUAH's Daba, is inside the war front. Uriah replied, the ark and the armies of Yasharah and Yahudah are living in a tent. How can I go and stay in my house when the ark and every other soldiers, army of Yasharah, they are in a tent, in a cold, in a place in this direction? I will not feel like at home. There's no need of going home. So they are living in a tent, and YAHUAH and my master's men are camping in the open fields. How could I go home? How could I? How could I go home to wine and dine and sleep with my wife? I swear that I would never do such a thing. He said, that his mind is not in going to his home. He respected the king. That's why he came back to honor the king's invite. But for him to go to his home, don't need. There's no need for that, sir. I won't. That's what he told the king. Let's read on. He said, so the next morning, Daud wrote a letter. Now, as the things, the plan of Daud is not going the way he want to, he want to cover the shame one way or the other. His plan is not going in the right direction. He has committed blunder, error. How am I going to cover these errors that I've committed? Now, this man is not helping me by going to his wife, to sleep with his wife, so that everything can be covered up by that. He's not helping at all. So what am I going to do to end this shame that was about to, is a big shame that is about to blow in my face? What am I going to do now? Let's see his thoughts. He says, so the next morning Daud wrote a letter to YAHUAH and gave it to Uriah to deliver. His own sentence, he gave his sentence to him to go and deliver to who will send him to death. He said the letter instructed YAHUAH. He said, verse 15. He said the letter instructed YAHUAH, station Uriah on the front line where the battle is fiercest, then pull back so that he will be killed. So YAHUAH assigned Uriah to a spot close to the city wall, where he knew the enemy's strongest men were fighting. He now sent Uriah, because he's following the king's instruction. He now sent Uriah to the place that the wall is very tough, that the strong men of the opposite side are there to destroy Uriah. So he now sent him there, and they killed him at that end. Where the battle was fierce, that's where they sent him to. Oh, you see, programming is planning to cover his shame, but at the end of the day, it brought destruction to him. And when the enemy soldier came out of the city to fight, he said, and when the enemy soldier came out of the city to fight, Uriah the Hittite was killed along with several other Yasharalim soldiers. That means it's not even only Uriah that were killed at that day. Because of just Uriah, other soldiers were killed. Just to cover your error, other soldiers were killed. Other soldiers were killed. Then YAHUAH sent a battle report to Daud. He told his messenger, report all the news of the battle to the king. And I report that your order has been carried out, O king. I've covered up your errors, your shame. I've done what you said I should do. Then the verse 12 now came in. The chapter 12 now came in. After he has done what he wants to do, he has done all that is in his heart. King Daud has done all. Because of that moment of, he forgot the Daba of YAHUAH. That means in your life, you will never forget the Daba of YAHUAH. If not, you will invite errors in your life. That moment of forgetting the importance of YAHUAH's Daba in your life can destroy your whole life and the generation unborn. Because he wants to cover his shame. Because of he wants to cover his shame, he increased the problem in his own life. Increased it. This is Daud that loved YAHUAH so much. This is the Daud that YAHUAH said is a man after his own heart. Yes. That means when you are even doing the right things with Yahuwah, just a little bit mistake can cost you all that you have worked for. That's why Yahusha said, he that endures to the end will be saved. You must endure to the end. It's a constant day-to-day work. Yesterday is over. Your today's obedience to Yahuwah is important. Very important. It's a day-to-day. As you wake up from your sleep, it's a brand new day for your obedience to Yahuwah. Yes. A brand new day to be focused in Yahuwah. Do not be distracted. Just that little bit distraction. You will see what that distraction cost Daud. And the next phase of this message. Toda Rabbi Yahuwah Sabaoth. Oh, Toda. Then Yahuwah sent Nathan the Nabi. Daud has finished his own. He has covered his own shame. Then Yahuwah now appeared into the program, into the picture. Then Yahuwah sent Nathan the Nabi to tell Daud this story. There were two men in a certain town. One was rich and one was poor. The rich man owned a great many sheep and cattle. The poor man owned nothing but one little lamb. He said, but one little lamb he had bought. He raised that little lamb and it grew up with its children. It ate from the man's own plate and drank from his cup. He cuddled it in his arm like a baby, like a baby daughter. Say he called he's not giving the Nabim, which they translate to prophet, the Nabim of Yahuwah. Now he's not giving Daud a parable. He said one day guests arrived at the home of the rich man, but instead of killing an animal from his own flock, the rich man had many animals. He did not kill any one of his own. He said instead of killing an animal from his own flock of herd, he took the poor man's lamb and killed it and prepared it for his guest. Daud was furious. As surely as Yahuwah lived, Daud said, who is that? Who is this person that you are talking about? Who is this? He said, who? Then he said, and Daud was furious. As shortly as Yahuwah lived, Daud vowed, any man who would do such a thing deserves to die. That means, you see, he has sentenced his own self immediately by what he said. Yahuwah brought that riddle, that parable, so that himself can be his own judge, so that he will judge his own self. A man have just only one lamb, one, and you are a rich man, you have many lambs, and you have a visitor in your home. You left your multitude of lambs and you focus on the poor man, one single lamb that is not showing that the lamb is even eating with them. Like as you will see some people that train all these ram, goat. You will see they train them like pets. This one is just one, and at the end of the day, it's that one that poor man have. That's what is entering the rich man's eyes, forgetting all the many ones that he have. And Daud was furious, and Yahuwah gave him that riddle so that he can judge his own self, he can be his own judge. Let's see the verse 6. Verse 6 said, he must repay 4 lambs for the poor man, for the one he stole, and for having no pity. He has no pity. Daud killed the man, he killed Uriah, and he killed other soldiers, died with him because he wanted to cover his shame. Others, he killed a lot of people at that very city. Because now he's not saying he has no pity, he's not judging his own self that he has no pity. His own self. Verse 7. Then Nathan said to Daud, you are that man.